These videos will give you an introduction to the salient aspects of the SilohFach website. Subsequent videos will cover some of the aspects of the website in more detail where it's required. So the first thing I need to do now is to load the SilohFach website. And to do that, I'm going to load my browser, and I'm using Google Chrome browser. You can use things like Internet Explorer or Firefox, although you may find little things appear slightly different in those browsers to what you'll see in these particular videos where I'm using Google Chrome. So the first thing I need to do is to get my website loaded. So if I click into the address bar, that highlights the current address in there. So I'm just going to type in now www.siloh.org.uk, which is the address of the website. Okay, and having done that, I just press the enter key, and that loads the website up. The first thing it loads is the home page, and then you'll see on the top, there's across the top around that way is what is called the navigation bar, which allows you access to the different parts of the website. The whole thing is known as a website, and the individual bits of it are known as web pages, and these up here allow access to those individual web pages. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use what's on the home page to give you a quick run through of what happens in the website. And if we follow down here, we say having said the welcome thing there, you can find out about SilohFach, right, by clicking on the About Us page. And if you click there, it'll take you to the About Us page, and there also as well, if you click on that at the top there, it takes you to the About Us page. Okay, so I'm going to click on that one down there, and this gives us the About Us page, and it actually gives you the deacons, the trustees, and so forth, and some little bit of history of SilohFach. Okay, so that can be read, and I now need to go back to my home page again. I can either click on that, or I can click on the back arrow that's on the browser, which will take me back to the previous page, which is the home page. So I'm going to follow down through here now, right? So what I'm saying next, to contact us for any reason, there's a contact us facility. So if you want to contact the administrators or so forth of the SilohFach website, then you can go to the contact us page, or as I said, you can click on contact us up there. Okay, and that'll bring up the contact us page, where you can put in your information. You put your name in there, you put your email address in there, you put your phone number in there, and you select the subject of your actual inquiry, right, which could be something of a funeral or services or building hire, website registration request, which we'll cover in a later video. There are facilities. If you notice on the top, there's a photo gallery. You can submit photos if you like. There are articles that can be held on the website, so you can submit an articles, or it could be some other query that you may have. Okay, and you click whichever one applies to your particular inquiry at this point in time, and then you put in there your message. Okay, and in some of those aspects on the top there, if you notice, if you submit in a photo or an article, you will want to attach something to that message so that we can action it and put it on the website. Okay, and if you've got, for example, a photo or a group of photos, if there are a group of photos, then you need to go into a zip file so that you can then attach the zip file. And you click on the attach down here on the attach file. It says choose file, and you can actually go to wherever you want to go on your actual website. Okay, look for the file that you're going to attach, double click on it, and the file appears down there. Okay, and having filled in all this information, you then submit the form, and that form will be submitted to the administrators, who will act on what you've actually entered in the actual contact us form. Okay, so that is how the contact us works, and as you use quite a bit, we'll see a lot of different things that use contact us. So I need to go back to the home page, and I'm going to click on the home button, which takes me back to there. After the contact us page, the other thing is the pulpit rota page, which actually gives a list of all the sermons or services that are going to exist in SilohFach throughout the current year. Okay, so I can either click on pulpit rota there again, or up there. So I'll do it down here and go into the pulpit rota, and then there it is there. There's the document, and you can scroll down that way as you wish. I'm using the mouse wheel to actually scroll this document so that I can up or down. Okay, and if I come down there, you notice a little thing appearing at the bottom, and there's a printer icon on the side. So if you want to take a print of that, you can click on the print button, and it'll take you to the print facility, and then you can choose whatever printer you want to do, and then print it out. Okay, so we'll cancel that. So that's the pulpit rotor. Back to the home page again. The next thing that's down there, right, it tells you the pulpit rotor lists all scheduled services of the current year. The other thing we've got on there is a facility to add sermons. Currently, when these videos are taken, the sermons have been taken off the internet. They're publicly available on the internet, and I've taken some of the ones off there and put them on the website. But if Silo did actually record some of their own sermons, then they can easily be added to the website as well. So to get to the sermons page, I can click there, or I can go to the tab on the top there. So I'm going to go to the little link here, which takes me to the sermons page, and here there's a little, what is called a little audio player, where there's a list of sermons down that way, and you can scroll down and up. Okay, if you click on any one sermon, it will start to play. Okay.
Following message by Alex today is made available by Truth for Life. For more information, visit us online at truthforlife.org. Now I invite you to take it by the
Okay, it tells you the length of the video there. Turn the volume up a little bit there if you want to.
If you look at it, you'll notice that there are 28.
And that's a 45-minute sermon, okay? So you can choose those as and when, as you wish, and listen to them at your leisure. So I'm going to go back now to my home page again. And having covered the sermons, then the next thing that's on the website is a meeting schedule for the current year. And this is listed on the meetings page, which can be gathered from there or up here. I'll go up here this time. And this lists all the current meetings that are relevant to SilohFach. And you can scroll down through that. You see there's one on the top for the Sisterhood, then the Trafalgar Guild, and down here special services for 2015 as well. Okay. Now this is a multi-page document, as you see. It goes from one page to the other. So when you scroll in, as I am, you need to either use the mouse on the document itself to scroll up and down, or you can drag the scroll bar down on the document. Don't scroll the actual web page, which is over there, because it won't show you the whole document. Okay, so when you scroll in this document, scroll onto the document itself. Use the scroll bar on the side, or just scroll the pages up and down when you're using the mouse wheel, or sliding it up and down if you're on a tablet or something. And that's all is in there. And again, similarly, like I showed on the pulpit rotor, if I go down here, I'm able to print it. Okay, if I want to print that out, and it'll print the whole document out for you. Okay, back to my home page again. Then the other facility that's on the website is the facility to make announcements, right? Which could be pertinent to certain things. I wouldn't give any specific examples, or you could announce something that so and so has reached the age of 80 or something on a certain date, and they're having a special occasion for him or something. So, and that will be added as and when appropriate by the administrator. Okay, clicking on that or clicking on the announcements tab on the top will take you to the announcements tab. So I'll go there. Currently there's nothing in there, but there could be some announcements down there. Okay. We're back to the home page again. One thing I'll mention as well before I proceed, you see on the right hand side here there's a notes page, right, where it says it's recommended that you use the Google Chrome browser. That is a sort of tab, if you notice, it appears on every page, and it's intended to give some sort of urgent notice or something, whereas the announcements might mention things that are coming up. If there was, for example, in the meeting schedule, a particular meeting for a particular day, and that had been cancelled at short notice, then the administrator can put a note in there so that anybody going to the website will see that, because it comes up on every page, and it'll tell him that the meeting for tonight or something is cancelled. So we're back on the home page again. The next thing that appears is upcoming events. You might have some events that are coming up. Okay, not necessarily in SilohFach, it could be anywhere. So they can be added to the upcoming events page, which appears there. Or if you go to the announcements tab, you see it comes underneath it. There's the events tab. Now that's the way it works on Chrome. If you go on roll onto it, it'll show that. On some of the other browsers, Internet Explorer and possibly Firefox, when you get onto there, you'll have to click on the announcements page, and then it'll show you that one. Okay. And then you can click on the upcoming events. So I'm going to just click on the upcoming events there, and it's very similar to the other one. It just shows you a list of events that may be coming up. There are none there at the moment. Okay, so back to my home page again. I do mention there's hovering over the announcements tab to get at it, you see. Then I say we've got a photo gallery on the website where you can host photographs, okay? And that is accessed by either clicking on that link on the home page, or if you don't want to do that, you can click on the tab on the top there. Take you to the photo gallery page. The photo gallery will contain photos which are relevant to SilohFach and to the community and the area, and also the history of the area and so forth. Before I explain the operation of the photo gallery, you are able to submit photos for inclusion into the photo gallery if you wish. And the way to do this is, first of all, to go to the Contact Us page, and you enter your details there, the name, email address, phone number, and then you select there and you say submit a photo, right there, and then these must be in either JPG or PNG format, okay, and you then include a description in the message of what the photo is about, and you could give a little bit of history about it as well if you wish. Okay, now then you actually have to choose the file that you want to submit, so you click on the choose file button and go to the relevant part of the your PC where the photos are located. The photo will then be, double click on the photo and it then comes back down into there, and then you submit the form, and that form will be submitted. The administrator will then attach it to the photo gallery if it's appropriate. Now you may wish to submit more than one photograph, and there's two ways of doing that. You could actually do it one photo at a time, as I've just done there now, or you could, if you've got multiple photographs, you could zip them up into one file, a zip file, by highlighting all the photos, and in Windows you right click on them and then send to compressed file, and that will create a zip file containing all the photos that you want to send, and then you attach that zip file down here, okay, and then submit it. So then you're doing it with one form. Now be careful when you're actually submitting photos. There is a size limit that you've got to be careful about. The file that you attach should not be greater than probably about 10 megabyte. Otherwise you're quite likely that your ISP, your internet service provider, will refuse to forward the form on to us. So that's the way to actually submit the photograph. So if I go back now to the photo gallery, one thing I mentioned, if you're sending a zip file, make sure that you're actually indicated by numbers alongside, one, the description, two, the description which relates to the numbers of the photos within the zip file, okay, so that we can relate the descriptions to the actual files that you're sending in the zip file. So now we'll go back to the photo gallery, and the photo gallery, if left to its own devices, will just loop through all the photos that exist in the gallery, okay, as it's doing there at the moment, and each photo will have a little description on it, as we can see down here, or in some instances there may be more of a narrative down there, okay. So as it's looping around, you can control what it does by these gallery navigation buttons over here. So if you see, if I click on that one there, the pause, then it'll stop the gallery from cycling, and it'll stay there until I do something else, and I could then click on the play button and it'll carry on cycling around. If I get to a photograph that I'm interested there in reading, because I can't read that before the next one would likely to come up, I've pressed the pause button there, and it'll stop it on that particular photograph, so I can then read down here the information appropriate to it. It happens to be a map from 1878 relating to the to the Melling area, and in some instances where it is appropriate, there will be the facility to enlarge what you can see on the screen, right? And that'll say on the photograph, like, click map to enlarge, because that might be a little small to read. So if I then click on that map there, it then brings me up a bigger version of that map, right, which I can scroll through. Depending on your screen size, you may have to scroll vertically as I'm doing, or and possibly horizontally. If you don't want to do that, then if you see on the top there, you can actually adjust what's the size of the map on the screen, or this particular photograph on the screen, by pressing the control key and the minus key to zoom out, right? So I press my control key. Every time I press the minus key, the map zooms out, okay? So it then becomes smaller, and I can adjust it if you want to suit your display, if you prefer, rather than you scrolling around. Similarly, if you want to look at it in more detail, you can do again, if you press the control key and the plus key, hold the control key down, press the plus key, every time you press it, it zooms back in, okay? And then you can actually see the map. You scroll around the map then to see it in a bit more detail. Now this enlarged photograph opens up in its own window up there, as you can see, and the photo gallery is still located down there, okay? Now you can, if you wish, you can leave that there and go back to that to the main website and carry on, or you can close this off when you've seen the end of it. Just clicking that X there, and it'll take us back to here, okay? Now this is paused at the moment. If I hit the play button, it'll start playing. What you can do as well is these two buttons here, if you want to, you can manually scroll it through. So if I press the next button, it'll go to the next one, stop, and then I can read all this again. And this is a similar situation here. This is a 1904 to 1908, 11, sorry, map of the Mellincrothen area, showing SilohFach as it existed then down there. And again, it says that you can look at a larger version of this photograph by just clicking on the map. And that's the map there, which I can scroll up and down to look at. And I've still got these facilities up here to zoom in and out if I wish, okay? When I finish with that, I close it off. So I can continue pressing this next button, and it'll go to the next photo and the next photo as I press each one. If I want to go back, then I can press the previous button and it'll step back through the gallery. Okay, if I leave it run again, it'll start going again. Clicking play, and I pause it there. Then this button over here in the end will take me back to the first photograph in the gallery. So I press that, it goes back to the first photograph, okay? And basically that's how the gallery works. And that's all there is to it. I go back to the home page again and scroll up a little bit. I covered that, submitting photos via the contact us page. The other thing is, if people are looking at the website and they're not very familiar with the area, they want to be able to find the chapel, SilohFach, then there is a locate us page on it, okay, which is either accessed from there or from the tab up here, okay. I'll go from the link on the home page and into there, and it tells you the address of SilohFach, right, where it is, and the postcode. It also gives the GPS coordinates. If people got sat navs and they want to get to it, they can use that. There's also what is known as a Google map down here, which shows you a map of the area. Now if you go on to that, click onto that map and do the scroll your mouse wheel, you see the map will zoom out and zoom in. You can also get the same effect by going over here and dragging the little slider down, okay? As you slide down, the map will zoom in, out, sorry, and if you slide the map side up, it will zoom back in again, okay? So they can see the area, roughly where it is. If they want to look at a satellite view of the area, then you see on the top here it says map and satellite. If you click on satellite, it actually shows you now what the satellite looks like. Now that's not bang, it may not be bang up to date. It depends when Google has surveyed the area from their satellite, okay? And you can actually zoom in and out in exactly the same way on that one, okay? Now if you want to actually look physically what the place looks like, you see there that little red balloon type thing there shows us where SilohFach is, right? So if I zoom out, I can drag the thing around there to get what I want, and that's where SilohFach is. Now if I want to look at what it physically looks like in the area, then I can take this little man up here, see it, it pops out, do a left click on it and hold it and drop it down where I want to look at and leave it go, right? And it then switches into what is known as Google Street View, okay? And that shows you actual video, or still photos then basically, of the actual area, okay? And I can drag that, if I left click, I can drag the thing around, okay? And you see the arrow tell me if I go up that way, I'm going up Dannegraig Road, And if I want to turn to the right, I can turn it that way, and there's SilohFach, okay? Okay. And I can go, if I then turn around this way, just scroll it around and go back down towards that road there. I can then see down this way. I can go down Exchange Road if I want to and see what that looks like. So I'm able to navigate around the area and see what it looks like, okay? And that's what the Locate Us page does, okay? So we'll go back to the home page again to take the next little bit. Now then, there are certain parts of the website which are only available to people. Everything I've described up to now, effectively, is available to anybody who goes onto the website. But there are certain parts of it which are only available to people who have registered with the website and have been approved to actually effectively join the website. That enables them then to be able to do things which normal people who haven't registered cannot do, okay? And to register with the website, you need to go to the login page, okay? And there's information on there, either from there or there. We go to the login page. It tells you then, if you're not already registered with the website, then use the Contact Us page to actually submit your details, right? You will then be given login details by email. If you wish to subscribe to the mailing list, then use the mailing list page. Now, all this is going to be covered in a later video, so I'm not going to go into it in detail now, okay? But that's basically how you can become registered, and you will then be given login details. So when you go to this page, you can put those details in there and sign in, and then you will have access to some of the other aspects of the website. It could be the forum, right? The mailing lists and articles and things of that nature. Okay. So I go back to the home page again, and I've basically covered this. There's a forum on the system, okay, which is only accessible if you're registered with the website. But if I click on the forum, it brings up the forum. Right now, there are topics in the forum down here. And these topics are entirely variable. I've picked up 4 topics at the moment, which I actually found on the internet. But if Silo want to actually have their own topics, then all they got to do is actually submit that into the administrator, and then they can be put into this forum, and the ones in there taken out. You can have as many topics as you like, or as few topics as you like. Okay. And I don't know if anybody's of you have used forums, but you actually click on a topic that you want, and then you can actually contribute to that forum, okay? And people can actually do replies and email you when a reply has been received and all that. We will cover this more in a later video, okay? But that again is only available for subscription people, okay? If I come back to the home page again, and I've talked about the mailing list. I mean, there's a facility in the system that you can actually do bulk emailing to all registered members of the website. So if the administrator wanted to send out an email to all people who had registered, they can actually just do the email once, send it to one email address, and it'll go then to all people who have registered to receive the mailing list, okay? And that is a protected area. As I say, when you go to that, you will see you're going to be asked to log in, because I'm not logged in, okay? So I'm going to cancel that at the moment and go back to the previous page. But I'm going to cover this in a later video. And there's also what is called an articles facility, which we won't be able to get at the moment, but that basically provides an article could be anything. It could be minutes, it could be a report, it could be whatever you like, where it can be added onto the website. And the registered users then, and a note could be maybe put on the side over here to say, please have a look at article so and so on the website. You can then call it up, provided you've got a login and you've registered, and you can actually make comments onto that article, right, which are then available for the administrator to view, and anybody else who's registered can view the comments. And that is, you can submit the new articles if you want to do via the Contact Us page again, you see, because in there it says submit an article, okay? So you can submit, and the articles would need to be in a Word doc or docx or a PDF format or a straight text file. And again, you can send more than one article if you want to. You just combine them up into a zip file, but make sure you put little descriptions about the articles in the message, okay, and with what the article relates to. I go back to the home page again, and that's basically, we've done a run through of the whole website, and that's basically what it is. Subsequent videos will go into a little more detail on some aspects of it that I've mentioned to you now. Okay. Before I finish with this video, one thing I didn't mention early on, when I initially called up the website, I said that you go and type in siloh.org.uk at the top there and hit the enter key on the keyboard. Well, if you don't want to do that every time, you can actually add that particular address when the page is loaded to your favorites. Okay, and on Google Chrome, the way we do that, we pick on the star button up there, okay, and click on it, and then we can give it a name. So we can say in there that it's SilohFach, and then we can tell it where to put it, right? And there is the bookmarks bar. The bookmarks bar on Google Chrome is the bar that runs across the top, which is available in Internet Explorer and so forth, which actually you can put, and you can tell it to put it up there so that it appears up there, okay? Or you can get it to add it to the other bookmarks. Bookmarks, favorites mean the same thing. So if you actually want to add it to the other bookmarks, you can scroll there, click on the other bookmarks, and then say finished, and it'll add that address into there. So the next time you load up your browser, you don't have to key that in. You can either click on the link that you've put on the bookmarks bar on the top, or you can go over here to your actual other bookmarks and pick it up from down there, wherever it may be. Okay, so that's a quick way rather than doing that type in every time.